What can you learn about spontaneously bungee jumping in Thailand? Well, apparently a lot. And in this video, I've broken down the three main things that I've learned from randomly and spontaneously bungee jumping in Northern Thailand. And it was a completely spur of the moment thing. Not that you've ever done anything like that before, have you? And one day I walked into the hostel I was staying at, and there was a group of Danish guys, and they're like, hey, we're going bungee jumping. Do you want to come? So naturally I said, yeah, and we went bungee jumping. And the point of this is not to humble brag or say anything like, oh, I went bungee jumping and and you can do something out of your comfort zone too. The point of this is to show you that there's opportunities that present themselves every day, and it's up to you to decide whether you want to take advantage of those opportunities or let them pass you by. And either way is completely okay. It's just, what kind of life do you want to live? Who do you want to be? And how do you want to show up in the world? Because you might have to do some things that are a little bit out of your comfort zone. You might have to expand in ways that you wouldn't have otherwise thought. And like that, every moment is a chance to step up. So it's up to you what you want to do. Do you want to step up? Do you want to stay in your room and let the world pass you by? Do you want to be in the mundane more and more? Or do you want to have the life that you want, whether it's full of excitement or adventure, whether it's just sitting inside playing video games? You want to have the relationships that you want, whether romantically or platonically. It's all up to you, and you get to create these opportunities and be in places at the right time, whenever that may be, just allowing that to be the right time. And you have to say yes, or you have to say no. You have to have that level of discernment to what supports you and what doesn't support you. And so from my spontaneous bungee jumping in Thailand, there's really three things that I've learned, that I broke out of it. And you can use these three things to step into who you are, to start taking control of yourself and owning this king or queen that you are, and showing up in the ways that you want to be seen in the world, even if you're scared. And the first is to choose your frame wisely. You get to decide how you respond or react in any given situation, in any conversation, regardless of what's going on around you. You are in control of your emotions and your reactions, or lack thereof. Do you want to make a big deal about it? Do you want to turn this situation into a pivotal moment and revolve your whole life around it? Like that one movie, Meet the Robinsons, where the kid misses catching the ball when he's like 5 and decides that his whole life should be about revenge because he didn't catch the ball because of his roommate who kept him up all night. What frame do you want to create? And you get to come in and say, hey, I want a frame where I'm showing up in this fun-loving way, where I'm accepting, where it's not awkward at all. You get to slowly shift and decide. And it's making that choice and sticking with that choice and deciding. It's not being like, oh, I got cut off in traffic and therefore now I'm pissed and my whole day is ruined. So I got cut off in traffic and it's no big deal because other people exist in the world and other people are driving, and I accept that. I got rejected by boyfriend, girlfriend. We broke up, or they said no when I asked them out, and that's okay, because there will be someone better for me that I resonate with on a higher level, that I'm able to connect with in more of the ways, or all of the ways, that I want to connect with them. You get to decide the frame, how you show up, how you respond, or how you react. And a lot of it is shifting from this anxiety, from this anxiousness, into excitement, because they're the same emotion, basically. They're same two sides of the same coin. Your body responds the same way in either situation, and it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to interpret it as anxiety or excitement. And it's making this conscious shift that you can say, hey, I'm feeling this social anxiety, but really I'm excited to be out in the world. I'm excited to see what will happen today. That's not saying that you have to be in crowds of people and enjoy it. It's just saying that more interesting things can happen, and it's what you choose to focus your attention on. Then the second thing that I really learned from bungee jumping, and not just bungee jumping, also speech class in public schools, cliff jumping, basically doing anything that you don't necessarily want to do, or you get fired up about in the way it's like, oh, this is a little bit dangerous, I'm scared, I have this fear, all right? And the longer you wait, the more you dwell on that fear, whether it's public speaking, pitching in front of 160 plus people, going on podcasts, jumping off a cliff, bungee jumping, swimming across a small ocean strait. I've done all of those things, and the longer you wait, the more the anticipation builds up and the harder it becomes, until you choke, until you freeze. So don't wait, just count down and do it. Count down from 3, count down from 5, whatever you want. Just don't wait. You can think about it later, you can think about it after, you can analyze every possible situation after. Obviously, I'm not telling you to do anything that's life-threatening or dangerous in that regard. This is for things that make you uncomfortable, that you're scared to do, that you might not do otherwise, that will be vastly beneficial for you, for who you want to become, and for the life that you want to lead. Which brings us to the third point, that sometimes you have to go through a little discomfort to get that delayed gratification, to get what it is that you actually want, whether it's minutes, hours, days, months, or even a year or more in terms of your goals being accomplished. Whatever it is, sometimes we have to go through a little discomfort. Sometimes we don't always get that instant gratification, and we live in this world where it's all about instant gratification. Now you have TikTok videos that are 10 seconds that are showing you the punchline. You have Instagram reels and YouTube shorts and all these other things where your curiosity is satisfied. You have dating apps where you're swiping right or left based on one single picture and nothing more. You have fast food, you have fast coffee. Everything, almost everything in this world is revolved around instant gratification, which means there's no discomfort to go through. There's no expansion of your comfort zone. There's no expansion of your consciousness to get these other things that may take a little bit more time to actually come to fruition. So are you willing to go through a little bit of discomfort? Are you willing to step up in these other ways and allow yourself to be going through these things that aren't necessarily the most comfortable thing? Earlier in this video, I talked about pitching in front of 160 plus people. It was at this event called New Media Summit, and it was to essentially get interviewed on podcasts. I had my 90-second pitch, my 2-minute pitch. I went up there and I pitched it, and it felt awesome. It was done. I was done. The point of it was to be seen, and that didn't happen right away. It took time to schedule these podcasts, to actually have these podcasts aired before any reward could come. But still, I had to go through that discomfort, being in front of 160 people, of speaking, of then following up and being interviewed, whether it was live or whether it was a recording and aired in the future. That took time. And likewise, if you have any fitness or health goals, it takes time. You don't go to the gym once and get ripped. You don't eat one healthy meal. You don't eat one salad and all your health issues are cleared up. It's these small incremental steps that lead into this future goal you have that's being accomplished. It's that delayed gratification. So are you willing to do something now to pay off in the future? Or is it's like compound interest? Are you willing to invest now to get massive results later on? Are you willing to go through a little discomfort? And whether you heal that discomfort before going through it, during it, or after is all up to you. You can just barrel through and say, hey, I'm super uncomfortable with this, but I'm doing it anyway. Or you can find that feeling in your body, tune in, process it, and let it burn out. It's up to you. Or you can do both and burn it as you go along. Either way, the real question is, are you willing to go through discomfort, to expand your comfort zones, to get what you want later on? Are you willing to accept this delayed gratification? And to wrap up, here I was on this crane, 50, 60 meters up in the air. I think that's 156 feet to 196 feet if my calculations are correct. And I'm standing on this crane in the middle of this jungle. There's nothing around, just me and the crane operator. My feet are bound together with the bungee cord, and the crane operator asks if I'm ready. Well, no, of course I'm not ready. Like, what you mean? Like, how can you ever be ready for something like this? I suppose like if you do it hundreds of times, you will be ready. But no, I wasn't ready. So I looked back at him and I said, no, but fuck it. Then I jumped. And just like that, do it anyway and think about it later. So if you're actually ready to jump, if you're actually ready to take control of your life, let go in so many ways and surrender to the flow, it's all to have better moment by moment experiences, because that's what life is moment by moment experiences that you can enjoy, that you can use to level up with, that you can either wallow in or be ecstatic in or be indifferent to and neutral. So are you willing to get through all that stress, all that anxiety, all that overwhelmed to have a better life, to have a more fulfilling life and better moment by moment experiences?